welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in.
Please remember to subscribe, leave me a comment saying that you've subscribed and we'll follow you back on our social media platforms. Welcome to the first video in the series, Talaria Versus. We believe a modified Talaria could be your one bike to do it all. Today we're going to be putting that to the test by testing it against a commonly found pit bike.
So here we have our Talaria Sting e-bike. It's running around 11 kilowatts of power for an upgraded battery and controller. It weighs about 70 kilos and in total it's cost around £11,000 or $13,000.
Over here we've got my 140cc pit bike. So this is supposed to have 17 horsepower, the manufacturer claims, but I think it's probably more around 12 to 13. It has got an upgraded carb. And in total this build's cost me about £1,300 and I think this is actually heavier, around 80 kilograms. To make this test fair, both riders weigh the same weight. We're going to be doing a drag race, we're going to be doing a lap time each on each of these bikes, and then we're also going to be doing a top speed test for both of these bikes. So now we're going to head out and get on with the tests.
So first up is the drag race. We're going to be going from a slow rolling speed to approximately 60 miles per hour on this straight piece of road.
So we're at our little private track in the woods. It's just a flat sort of oval, but it's quite slippy, so it should be a good test of the traction as well as the suspension. So yeah, we'll do a lap each and compare the times on both bikes. I was going to do a lap time on this, but because it's a cheap Chinese bike, it stopped working. And that is the thing with these cheap pit bikes. When you do buy them, you're going to spend half the time fixing them than rather riding them. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do a lap time on this. They've designed the fuel so that it doesn't flow through into the carb directly. It has to go uphill, and when it gets under a certain amount of fuel level, there's not enough pressure pushing down on it to feed it into the carb. So yeah, we're going to have to skip out on the lap time, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll still do an evaluation at the end. Ready, steady, go.
Seeing as the pit bike didn't want to perform properly while we were at the track, we decided to do some off-road handling, so we took the pit bike through the woods and followed the Talaria to see how it kept up.
I don't know where that goes.
That way?
I don't know where that goes.
Or that direction? Turn it over, there's nails on it.
Why did that happen?
Because you're going too slow.
Yeah, let me try my bike. So now that we've been out and ridden both bikes, we both had a go on each, we can discuss what we found. So we're going to rate these bikes with 5 factors. First is handling, second is speed, third is value, fourth is fun factor, and the fifth is convenience.
So factor 1, handling. I think that this Talaria handles better, partly because it's got way better tyres on it. It's got a Killer Trackmaster and a Mitas Terraforce on the front than that. It's also got slightly bigger wheels, and it's a bit narrower, so it's easier to bite your knees into it when you're going around corners. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this bike just feels like I'm riding like a plank of wood. I put an upgraded shock on it, but it doesn't really do much. The forks aren't up to much. And being like these wheel sizes, the tyres are a fortune. So yeah, that wins hands down for handling. So the second factor is the speed. So I did a draggy run with both these bikes. You'll see that now. So the Talaria actually got a higher top speed of 60 miles an hour versus this, which was 59, which is very, very close. But this gets there quicker. So as you could see in the drag race, this bike accelerated a little bit slower, but then once they got to the top speed, the Talaria started creeping forward again. So next up is the value. So obviously this being £11,000 and this being £1,200, obviously this is better value for money, but that bike is infinitely better. So what would you say?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Although the price difference is so big, I'd much rather have this, obviously, but I guess if you're just starting out, you don't have much money, say you're a younger person, you don't have all the money to do all this stuff to it, I wouldn't shy away from getting one of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think they're good fun.
They are good fun. I think you can have just as much fun on one of these as you would on that, but obviously we'll get into the convenience, but that is just better to ride 90% of the time because you can take it anywhere. So the fourth factor is the fun, how much fun you can have on them. And this obviously makes a load of noise. The tyres aren't great, so it's constantly flicking up mud. It is quite fun, I will admit. And it's small and compact, so it just feels very nice to ride around on. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that as well. I think they're both fun. The noise on that makes it seem a lot more... It just feels better to ride because of the noise, although this is more convenient and easy to ride in places.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they're both as fun as each other, to be honest.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun on one of these if you have a little track and you've got some friends with pit bikes and you're on some private land. That would be great fun. But yeah, like I said, this is more fun most of the time because you can take it places that you wouldn't possibly dream of taking the pit bike. The last factor is convenience, and obviously you've got to go out, you've got to buy your petrol, you've got to service the engine every 8 hours. It's heavy, you've got to lug it in and out of the shed. So I think the Talaria wins on convenience. Just plug it in, charge it, take it out, and it's done. You know, yeah, you've got to change the gearbox oil every 500 miles, but 500 miles versus 8 hours, I think that hands down wins. You agree?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. So the overall winner in this comparison is without a doubt the Talaria Sting. The Talaria Sting!
So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. If you're a new subscriber, please comment subscribed and I'll get back to you, as well as follow you on your other social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Yeah, but stay tuned for the next video. We'll be testing that bike against a 2-stroke KTM next. But moving on from the Talaria versus Shootout, we have plenty of other videos planned, like newbies trying out the Talaria, upgrades. So yeah, stay tuned.